What's up, guys? Hey, good morning. This is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. This is another episode, another podcast, audio episode of Six Figure Focus. How bad do you want to make six figures? I know the agents that listen to this, that reach out, that give suggested topics or requests, or that comment or like or that share. I can tell those are the individuals that are extremely serious about making six figures. Are we building and training six-figure insurance agents? No question about it. That is what we do here at Secure Agent Mentor. Or maybe your goal is 50 grand. Or maybe your goal is 200 grand. We can give you the exact path and the exact formula. We can't put forth the work ethic for you, but we can show you what you need to do to succeed. So this episode of Six Figure Focus is going to be about the one single ingredient that helped me succeed. If we take out work ethic and we take out skill, then there was which are things that I had to. Those are things I did, or, as far as the work ethic, I put forth as much work ethic, if not more, than anyone in the country back when I first started. Well, and then also, from a skill standpoint, I wasn't the most skilled by any means, but there was one single ingredient, one single thing that I did day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out for that entire year, and that I still preach and teach today. And that is the old phrase that people say all the time in the insurance business: what do you need to do to succeed? And I've heard it a bajillion times. See the people. All you got to do is see the people. Just see the people. Cody, all you got to do is see the people. Well, you know what? It's not as easy as just saying, hey, go see the people. Because yes, it's the single ingredient that helped me succeed was the fact that I knew my numbers and that I ran so many appointments every single week. So in a way, it was seeing the people. But I knew how many people I needed to see, and I saw those many people every single week. The single best ingredient that helped me succeed was I ran a consistent large number of appointments every single week. No matter how good you are or how much you know, if you're consistently getting in front of enough people to hit your goals, they will happen. No question about it. You can leave everything else aside. If you see the people and you see enough people and you hit your goal for whatever the amount of people that you want to see is, you will succeed. Back when I first started, my goal was, hey, I want to sit down and ask to buy insurance an absolute minimum of 10 every single week. And I did that every single week for an entire year. And I still do it, teach it, and preach it today. Now, one thing we don't think about sometimes is appointments will cancel. Appointments will change their mind. Appointments will stand you up. Maybe they will not be there, so to speak, or they'll be a no-show. So if those things happen, which they will, back then I was having to set 15 to 20 appointments just to run 10 quality appointments, because I knew I needed, because I had set goals, as we do here at Secure Agent Mentor. We believe in setting goals in a huge way. Goals are so important. Well, if you're setting goals and your goal is to make 100 grand in, let's just say we're about to the end of 2016, let's just say 2017. If your goal is to make 100 grand in 2017, number one, you need to hook up with us and email us and join our team. You can email me at cody.askins@secureig.com. We can make sure that you hit that goal in 2017. Well, once we figure out what your goal is, and once you figure out what your goal is, then you've got to figure out how you're going to do it, which is how many people do you need to see to hit your goal? Because I can tell you this, it varies by product. It varies by the type of people that you're going to see. If you have the ambitions of selling MedSup, well, your closing percentage will be high with going to see people about MedSups, but your average commission is much lower. Average commission is $250 to $300 per MedSup. So to get to $100,000, you've got to run just an absolute ridiculous amount of appointments unless you're going to sell over the phone. So all those things you got to take into account. That's kind of the mental game or the psychology of breaking down your goals and knowing what you need to do what you want to do, which is to hit your goal. Well, if you're going to sell final expense or life insurance, the average commission is more. The closing percentage will typically be less, but you don't have to see as many people. Now, when you're selling over the phone, always when you're selling over the phone, you've got to reach out and touch more people. Now, that's nowadays you can save time by doing that, but to hit your goal, to see enough people, to ask enough people to buy, so to speak, the numbers have to be there. This is the one single ingredient that I felt like I did really, really well of, is I knew my numbers and I ran enough appointments and asked enough people to buy that there was no chance I would ever fail at hitting my goal. And for the agents that haven't heard me or that are listening to me for the first time, or that don't know what my goal was back then, I was 19, 20 years old. My goal was and I was in college, and I was playing basketball in college for our college team. And my goal was to make $100,000 my first full year in the business. Well, by doing the things that we teach, I was able to do that. And the one single ingredient that I still believe more than any other ingredient, yes, I became a master of the phone. Yes, I became really good with people. Yes, my skill got slowly better every single day. Yes, I outworked every single agent in the entire insurance industry. Yes, I outworked every single agent in our agency, in our region, in the nation with the company I was with. But the one single ingredient that propelled me above the rest is they were running an average of 3, 4, 5, maybe the good ones were running 6 or 7 appointments a week. I'm running 10. I'm running 12. I'm running 15. They cannot beat me. If I'm seeing an extra 30%, 50%, or twice as many, or 3 times as many, or 4 times as many people, they cannot beat me. It is not humanly possible. Unless they close 100% and everything they close is a monster sell, by the end of that year, I was going to win, and I did, because I saw enough people to succeed. I saw more than anyone else that I ever knew, anyone else that I'd ever heard of. I would have my first year in the business, I would be 3 or 4 months in, and I'd have district sales managers and regional managers and general managers all over the country, and this is a legit story, calling and emailing me, wondering what I was doing to succeed at such a high level at such an early age in college. They had interns that wanted to be doing what I was doing, or they had agents that had been there 20 years that weren't competing. I was out producing entire offices back then. I remember really well. I was here in Springfield, Missouri, and I had a manager up in Minnesota. I was out producing his entire office, and he had a dozen agents, and he's wondering, how the freak are you doing this? Well, and I told the guy, the only reason I'm doing it is I'm seeing more people than anyone else. I'm getting in front of more people than anyone else. I'm asking more people to buy. I'm presenting to more people than anyone else. I'm pitching to more people than anyone else. I'm actually going for the close to more people than anyone else. And in essence, by asking more people to buy and by learning how to actually close business on the first call, I'm just going to sell more insurance. I'm simply going to make more money. Doesn't matter if I was selling a lot of small stuff, which for a while I did, but the numbers were there. If you sell enough little stuff, the big stuff will come, and those little things add up in a huge, huge, huge way. And so I remember another story, a little smaller agency with 6 or 7 agents down in Mississippi. And he was a good friend of mine. I knew the guy. He called me and said, "Hey, dude, I'm absolutely ticked at my agents. They are letting this 19, 20-year-old college student outproduce my entire office." And he had a regional office. He said, "You're outproducing my entire office. And I'm telling them every week, we will not let this young college kid beat us." Well, you know what? I didn't care what he told them. They better raise their game if they want to even try to compete. Because if you've heard things I say before, we don't want to compete. Your goal is to dominate. And all I ever preached back then, and all I preach today to all of my agents, is if the numbers are there, if you see enough people, there's no question about it, you'll succeed. You'll make it. If you call enough people, set enough appointments, have enough kept appointments, warm up with enough people, fact find with enough people, present with enough people, and close with enough people will buy, and you will reach your goal. So again, I hope this has been helpful. I haven't dug deep into a specific topic, but this is a topic that it gets understated, because a lot of people say, "Hey, just see the people, see the people." Well, if you don't know how many people you need to see, and you don't know how to get in front of those amount of people or enough people, all it will ever be to you is a myth. See the people, see the people, see the people. It's just a phrase. It doesn't mean anything unless we dive into the exact numbers and you know exactly what it takes for you to succeed. Again, if you have questions, if you have interest in joining our team, if you have interest in a coaching session, or if you want to know more, or if you want a detailed plan put together and you want to set some goals, we put detailed plans together. Whether you contract and join our team or not, we do coaching sessions. We figure out what your plan of action is, what your goals are. And we put together a detailed plan with you together to make sure that you know everything to do to hit that goal and to be successful and to bring some consistency in it and to see enough people and ask enough people to buy that you will succeed. Again, this is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. This is another training podcast episode of 6-Figure Focus. This was the single ingredient that allowed me to focus on succeeding and being consistent week in and week out. I saw enough people, ran enough appointments, and asked enough people to buy that there was no chance of failure. Again, this is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor. Thanks so much for listening to 6-Figure Focus. Have an awesome week. Go out and absolutely have a killer day, the best day of the year. Focus on what you need to do. Please reach out to us. Have an awesome day. Talk to you tomorrow.